We all hope it's true.
You walk up into the top of the mountain of silence, and as you're up here, no matter how many people are up here and how many children are running around, it's a place of silence, and it allows you to find the silence in yourself.
Darrol, who had stayed below to make arrangements for later in the day, still had to come up. The steps of the temple at the top come into view. He's on the last leg now. He's almost there. That final opening.
Coming up here, I kind of remembered all the pictures I've seen of this place and this statue. It was almost like I had been here, but then when I came into the inner sanctum and actually saw the statue in front of me, it was totally different. It's something that no matter how many times you can see something, you see it again when you're actually standing in front of it, and just the sheer size and it being right there makes you remember that you're a small part of this world, and knowing that you're part of everything around you, it's humbling.
Darrol gives us a primer on Jainism. Despite it being one of the world's oldest monastic traditions, again we hear themes that are familiar to our modern culture, about their central focus on nonviolence and the dedication to the welfare of every being on the planet. They live in a way that minimizes their impact on the earth, but the lengths their monastic orders go to is unexpected.
The sky-clad Jains are the ones who are clad only by the sky. So they're the naked Jains. They wander around the countryside without any clothing, and they carry before them a little whisk so that they whisk the ground in front of them as they're walking so that they don't inadvertently step on any living thing and cause its death. The white-clad Jains, they wear clothing, and they wear a mask over their mouth so that they don't inadvertently breathe into their mouth insects and be responsible for their death.
Soon we'll head down the mountain to visit the head of the Jain religion in India.
This particular center, it's referred to as the Vatican of Jainism. The Swamiji we'll meet today is someone I've known for about 15 years, and as the head of this ashram or mutt, there would be no one that would occupy a more important position among the Jains than this fellow.
And we're on our way to do what we've traveled so far to do. To engage in dialogue. It's a skill that's becoming increasingly important in our interconnected global culture. Darrol says the key lies in something as simple as showing up.
The fundamental thing is meeting the peoples of the different faiths.
No matter how advanced our communication gets, there's little as powerful as that face-to-face connection.
We've created now the internet, and this has created a worldwide kind of web of life in which we all find ourselves. All of a sudden, the world has shrunk. And there are pluses and minuses to this. It's not only a wonderful thing, it's also created a kind of false sense of familiarity with that wider world, right? It can. We see the images, so we think we know about it.
Darrol begins our visit on a personal note.
And Sandra is an artist and a teacher and been a friend for a long time. And Matt is just graduating right now. Ray is finished high school in Switzerland, though she's from Canada. And behind her is her mother, Jerry, a composer, a musician too.
We begin to see dialogue in action.
Jainism, begins with the concept of non-violence, ahimsa. It starts with the food first.
We engage in a process of listening and responding, of hearing and speaking.
Life of monks is also restricted on the basis of non-violence.
Jain teaches we have to respect life. He even used the word soul. Then a new soul comes in the seed, and it grows. So Swamiji, the Jain tradition involves your eating and your habits and all of this. It's also very philosophical. There's a very philosophical part of the Jain tradition. And listening to you today, we heard both about the practical and the philosophical. Yeah. So thank you very, very much.
You have taken a lot of time to understand this history and the philosophy. And that is important because one should know the philosophy of others. I read Greek philosophy, French philosophy, British philosophy, German philosophy. And
A new and surprising world is opening up. Not just different ways to understand things, but new relationships.
We were sort of wrapping up, and then his people kind of came in and he had all these boxes. First of all, I just thought it was for Darrol because he's been there and everything. And for him to welcome us like that, it's pretty profound. Just kind of shows that it doesn't matter who you are, you can believe in what they believe, or you can be interested in it and they respect you for that.
Please come again and again. Doors are always open to you.
Thank you very, very much.
Come again. It's a genuine invitation from our new friends. Now there's an open door for us to continue the conversation. But dialogue like this hasn't always been so accessible.
It's a really incredible and important moment in the history of religion. We're in an age of dialogue. This is something that has not happened in the history of the human race. And we have to see that against a backdrop of a long, long history of separation, of isolation. There were regions of the world that were predominantly this or that, and there wasn't much contact across them.
All that has changed dramatically. Interreligious expressions are happening across all faiths, and in places like this Catholic center, founded because of a specific mandate from Vatican II to engage in more openness and dialogue with other faiths.
Father Anthony, as you know, I've come to India many times and we've met many times, but this is the first time that I've come with 12 women.
That's great.
Okay, we've got a couple of guys with us.
12 disciples, apostles.
I understand dialogue as loving our neighbor. I think it's a new name for loving our neighbor in the 21st century. It's a way into the lives of other people with whom we share this common planet. It's what we need to be doing in this time, all around the world. It's even become more imperative as we move into the 21st century. And the amazing thing, it is happening around the world. We've seen this phenomenal growth of interfaith encounter and dialogue. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
There are connections between all of us. Learning how to communicate with people of different faiths is a major part of that, and maybe the biggest. And coming here is a step in that direction, and a big step.
And we've got this remarkable diversity within the human family in terms of religions and cultures, gender, and that's something not to fear, but something to celebrate.
It's not about believing the same things or making everyone the same, or even the familiar notion that we're looking for common ground.
That's a kind of misconception and a very unfortunate one. And it gets in the way of real exchange between people of different traditions. We need to take seriously the differences.
And they can sometimes be as subtle as common stories or characters that in fact may have an entirely different meaning in another religion. But regardless of the differences, there are things we can strive for.
When people ask what you need to be involved in dialogue with other faiths, you only need one thing: be open to listening to the voices coming to us and not transforming what they say into our own categories, but trying to understand them in their own terms.
It's a significant challenge, and one this Catholic Christian community has committed to, especially as a minority religion in India. They've looked for ways to be more relevant to the dominant Hindu culture around them. It's called enculturation.
This is the bread that came down from heaven. Whoever eats of it will never die. This is the cup of immortal nectar. Whoever drinks of it will live forever.
We do a lot of experiments with regard to enculturation. How to make Christianity Indian. We come together, debate and contest, discover and explore and experiment.
In their search for the relationship between faith and the culture that surrounds them, this community has begun to reimagine their own faith.
It is a new interpretation, vibrating with the Asian sensibilities and the Asian dreams and hopes and religious sentiments. So we have taken a new theme, retelling the story of Jesus through the stories of people. So it has cultural, social, political, economic, even ecological implications. So this is a new theme we have articulated. So enculturation.
As we travel to our next destination, we have a lot to process. coming face to face with our differences, but also the beautiful connection we can have with people and cultures so different from our own. And that comes from being able to see the big picture, that common perspective we can all share.
You know, we're the first generation who's ever seen our globe as a single unit. And that's because we've been able to get outside of ours and look back on the earth, and now we see this beautiful blue-green orb floating in this infinite space. It should bring to us a consciousness that we're all in this together. We are one human family.
In 1970, India acknowledged that one human family when it gave 225 acres of land to this Tibetan Buddhist settlement. The gift was to help the exiled community preserve its culture and religion. One of the geshes, or masters in the community, shared his thoughts on the benefits of exchange between traditions.
In order to know the quality of one's tradition, we need to understand others' tradition as well. Then only can we appreciate our own tradition. In that process, we also have a lot of respect for other tradition as well, because we see the importance of their viewpoint as well.
The community is a fascinating place to visit, and as we explore the grounds, the experience of being here begins to do its work in us in ever deeper ways, in our bodies and in the imagination. We're finally moving slowly enough to pay attention to the world in a whole new way. The sense of place begins to speak to us. The colors, the textures, the smells and sounds. The atmosphere is soaked with its history and its mythologies.
There's a kind of magic that comes from a direct encounter with a new culture, with all of its diverse religious traditions, to actually encounter their temples, their mandirs, gurdwaras, and then the people within them. There's nothing as powerful or as significant in terms of learning about the traditions that shape the life of human beings on this planet.
It is inspiring to be here. Immerse yourself in somebody else's culture or in a different place, and this is a really special way to be doing that. This time in India has already given me a deeper knowledge of myself by encouraging me to look inward. I'm going to be taking a lot of things with me from here.
We're seeing all these different things and feeling all these different things. I don't know, I've always not been very spiritual and not been religious and sort of purposely distanced myself from it. And now I see a shift.
Of certain medicinal plants, how to, mix them. So all these are explained.
Each of the different religions opens up a new experience. But there's probably nothing quite as tactile as classic Hinduism, which means be ready for anything. Our destination is the temple at the top of this mountain, one of the 7 sacred hills in India. This time we're happy to be traveling by bus instead of on foot.
Unfortunately, we can't take the cameras with us, but we never know what we're going to encounter in a temple. Let's go. Hello. I wanted to get tickets for a group.
This temple is both a pilgrim site and a tourist destination, even though only Hindus can enter the sacred Sanctum Sanctorum, or most holy place, to visit the famous solid gold